What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RCA. That's RC Abroad with me, Adam. Today's installment of What's That RC? We're going to take a look at my racing shelf back here to my left. All right. And we're going to take a look at my baby, RC10B4.1. This is the RTR chassis. I remember when I was just getting into RC, I was about 12, 13 years old, and I remember seeing this in the Tower Hobbies catalog, and I always wanted one. This was the pinnacle of RC racing at the time. So a few years ago, I was searching the secondhand app we have here in China called Shenyu, and I was scrolling through and ended up seeing a B4.1 roller. I'll put the photo up here of what it looked like when I got it. So I ordered it. It was a very good price. I think it was only about maybe 200 RMB roughly, which is $75-ish, I guess. My math is probably off. But so it was a very good deal. And I had to jump on it because, like I said, I've always wanted one. It had the original white wheels. Still have the original wheels on the front, right? For reasons I'll get into later. So it was a very good deal for a very clean roller. We'll get into more of the details of it on the bench. But yeah, so one of my favorite RCs of all time. I love vintage two-wheel drive. I love two-wheel drive buggies in general. Vintage, classic. Again, this was the height, the pinnacle of RC racing at the time for me when I was younger, and always wanted one. So now I have one as an adult. So let's get it on the bench and see what I've done to it. All right, so here we have it, the RC10B 4.1. Again, this is the RTR chassis. When I bought it, I bought it as a roller, so no electronics. Well, that's not true. It did have the original RC10 some team associated servo, which still worked, so I kept it in there. Figured why not. All right. Originally, it was just going to be a shelf queen / basher, so I had put in this Hobby Wing clone, cheap budget brushless ESC with a Sonic 3D Sonic 13.5 motor. There we go. And it screamed. It went pretty fast. Again, it's no track racing, just a basher for the most part. But recently, that past week or so, I decided to take it back to its brushed roots, and I went with this Tachyon 8 T8 ESC. It's a South Korean brand ESC for racing. It's got an eight turn motor limit on it. So I paired that to, let's see if we can get the focus here, this Speed Mind 13 turn brushed motor. So I was amazed what difference a battery makes, because I was running it on a 35C standard 2S basher pack I have, and it was very sluggish on the brush system. So then I dropped in one of these bad boys, Sun Padao 6,000 milliamp 100C pack, and it absolutely screamed. It hit brushless speeds, as you've seen in my bashing video. I'll put a link up top here. All right, and yeah, with the brush system, 13 turn motor, it absolutely screams. I'm very happy with it. Now, when I bought it, I wasn't sure which model it was. I knew it was an RC10B4, but then I noticed the shocks. It had the blue aluminum, right? And it had didn't have the carbon fiber top on it, battery hold down. So that's when I realized it was the RTR chassis. And recently, I found this on the secondhand app, and from posts on the RC subreddit and a very helpful user, I found out that this was the Factory Team Edition, this parts chassis. And I bought this because vintage parts are very hard to come by here in China. And so I figured, oh, a parts car, perfect. And so when I got it, the seller had told me he thinks it's a Thunder Tiger. So I got it for 130 RMB, which is like $25 roughly. And he didn't know what the seller didn't know what he had. So it's got the graphite chassis, the graphite suspension towers. I was originally going to transfer all the electronics and wheels and everything from the RTR onto the better Factory Team chassis, but on Reddit they suggested I don't do that because these graphite parts are very expensive and hard to come by, and if they break, I'm pretty much SOL. Right. So I decided to just take the Factory Team parts off of that chassis and put it onto the RTR. The blue turnbuckles, the blue front bumper here, and the anodized blue motor mount. So it's an RTR Factory Team kit, right? I'm running the FS BS4 receiver in here for the GT5 FlySky GT5 radio system. Stock shocks. These shocks actually still had oil in them from the original kit, and it was very clean. I don't think this kit had ever been run before. If so, it had been run very, very limited, very light use. So still running this initial shock oil, the original servo, and I just upgraded the electronics. Wheels and tires go. This is a VP Pro rear tire and yellow disc wheels. I was able to, the original RC10 axles are just pins and didn't use hexes, right? But easy enough upgrade, just put a hex on there, right? And I was able to use modern Buggy wheels. Could not do that with the front, however, as there is no pin. Right? It's just this shaft, and the wheel has bearings. So I was not able to upgrade to a modern wheel. I've been trying to figure out if I can fit some B5 or B6 axles on here. Maybe that might let me upgrade to a modern hex, but haven't tried it yet. So these are the original white front tires and front wheels. I got these T-Works wheel stickers on here. Give them a nice neon orange to match the flames on the period correct body. As for the body, it's a reprint of the original period correct RC10B4 body. This is only about 100 RMB, like $15 on the secondhand app. They made these reproductions, but it's period accurate, the paint scheme and everything. So got that. Very happy about that. And yeah, so that's pretty much it about what I've done to keep this shelf queen as a runner. Haven't really gotten out on the track with the new upgrades yet, as I don't have a track near me anymore. I used to live in Xiamen. We had a very, very nice off-road track, but I moved to a different city since then and don't have access to the track anymore. So now it's pretty much just a basher. One of the things I really liked about this ESC is the pink and green motor wires. I love the neon colors, very 90s, late 80s style RC, right? With the neon wheels and the neon flames on the body. Right? So I just love that vintage color scheme to bring back that 90s glory when this thing was at the top of its game. So that's pretty much it for today for What's That RC. Again, this is a semi-weekly segment I'm trying to do to create content that hopefully you find interesting and enjoyable. Just going through my fleet back here behind me, right? Going through one by one and taking a look at what I've done, modifications, upgrades I've done that hopefully you might be able to do as well if you have the same vehicle. So again, this has been the B4.1. This is the RTR factory team. It's got the factory team upgrades on it now. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention in the detail video was the MIP CVDs in the rear. Right. The parts chassis I got. The parts chassis didn't have any shocks or rear tires or anything, but it did have the MIP CVDs in there, which is a very, very, very nice feature to have. They were very rusty. I dropped them into a cup of white vinegar for a couple hours, took the rust right off, oiled them up, and installed them onto the chassis. So now I've got some very nice period correct MIP CVDs on this. If I ever get a chance to enter a vintage race, I think I've got a pretty good entry here with the factory team upgrades onto the RTR chassis. So that's it today. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for checking out the video. Like and subscribe as always for more content, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.